If we listen to what the Suits, Poindexters, and Tree Huggers have to say about EVs, one would believe they stand to become the dominant type of vehicle to be produced in the next 15 years. But if you ask a layperson or a majority of motorcycle enjoyers, they would say quite the opposite. Here's why. One of the greatest limitations facing electric motorcycles is the limited range of the electric battery. Until someone can figure out how to make an electric motorcycle travel further than about 80 miles on a charge, us salty ICE enthusiasts will not come off this hill. On average, a motorcycle can go about 160 to 200 miles on a tank of gas, and if you get low on gas, you can just stop off at a gas station and fill it back up in just a few minutes. And if you find yourself on a grand touring adventure that'll take you farther than 200 miles from a gas station, you can always strap an extra fuel canister on the back of your bike so you can almost always top up mid-ride and travel even further. The limited range for an electric motorcycle is almost antithetical to the nature of motorcycling, where the greatest enjoyment for many riders is getting out of town and enjoying some scenic or challenging routes. Sure, if you exclusively ride in the city where you're going short distances between your modern loft apartment, the organic grocery store, and the tech startup where you work, you could probably charge up at home or one of the charging stations that adorn the live, work, play community in which you reside. But on an electric motorcycle, it would be incredibly foolish to venture out to your favorite twisties in the countryside where you'll expend most of your battery life before you even get to the fun part. Riding a motorcycle in a spirited fashion with quick acceleration and high revs will always negatively affect your fuel consumption to some degree, but the decrease in MPGs are marginal compared to how fast riding drains the life of a battery. Conversely to internal combustion vehicles where high-speed cruising doesn't directly negate your mileage as long as you maintain modest engine RPMs, higher speeds directly correlates to quicker battery drain on an electric bike. Not to mention the way in which hills, wind resistance, and colder temperatures can further decrease the efficiency of the battery. Electric vehicle charging infrastructure is still relatively uncommon in most parts of the country, and having rented an electric car in California one time last year, it's really bad trying to charge your car on the go. It's like all the electric chargers don't work. And until motorcyclists have enough range of the ability to quickly and easily recharge their bike to get a full day of seat time, electric bikes are at a massive disadvantage to their gas-powered predecessors. And think of all the charming gas station interactions you'd be missing out on an electric bike. There's nothing quite like the goosebumps you get when you're fueling up your bike and some elder dude bro in a lifted truck comes over and says, "Hell yeah, bro, is that a Busa? I had a crotch rocket too till my old lady made me sell it. You gonna put NOS on that thing?" And when you're comparing the cost of electric motorcycles versus gas-powered bikes, it's immediately noticeable that your dollar goes a lot further in the ICE world. Electric vehicles have an incredibly steep upfront cost. The added expense of an electric bike would take years and years and years to finally outweigh the cost of fuel and maintenance on a traditional motorcycle. The high sticker price on an electric bike immediately puts them outside the realm of possibility for many motorcyclists, regardless of how they compare to the competition. Any marginally financially responsible person can't really justify spending 15 grand on the cheapest EV in existence, let alone 20 to 25,000 for one of the most equipped options. Zero SRS, it's $21,000. Livewire 1, $23,000. When the cheapest electric motorcycles with smaller batteries, shorter range, and slower speeds cost at least $15,000, how could you ever justify that choice compared to any gas-powered motorcycle? Especially when the beginner bike category is so hot right now. So hot. Triumph's selling beginner bikes for less than $5,000 now. And when it comes to high-end EV models, your options for an ICE motorcycle would be nearly endless if you've got $20,000 at your disposal for a bike. Not only does your dollar go way further when purchasing a gas-powered machine in terms of overall value, you'll also not have to take the risk of uncertain resale value. Historically, electric vehicles depreciate way more quickly than gas-powered vehicles do. On electric machines, the technology is so new and rapidly evolving, the older models can become massively outdated in just a few years' time, leaving used models unable to hold their value the way an ICE machine does. Similarly, EVs depreciate quickly and don't have great resale value because of uncertainties about reliability and service. It's kind of hard to justify purchasing such a new machine secondhand without the safety net of a warranty or a service plan. Anywhere in the world, there are people who can fix and maintain an ICE motorcycle. The dealerships have been servicing similar models of gas-powered bikes for decades. Independently owned motorcycle shops can fix, modify, and build motorcycles even further. And even motorcycle owners can maintain or accessorize characterize their bikes with the help of a service manual, some hand tools, and a healthy dose of patience. This is very dramatic contrast to the reality of EV ownership. Ideally, if you buy a brand new vehicle from the dealership, it should not need a whole lot of work for a while, especially considering one of the selling points of an electric motorcycle is the simplicity of maintenance. But since these motorcycles and the technology that powers them are so new, there's bound to be recall or warranty work that is needed. In this instance, back to the dealership it goes. And if your electric bike needs repair or service outside of your warranty, it must still go back to the dealership because they're the only people who have the understanding, tools, and computer programs necessary to maintain a motorcycle built on electric technology like this. Because of the minimal options to service or repair an electric motorcycle, the appeal is significantly diminished in my opinion. Potential buyers can only live close to a dealership, and the owners don't really have the ability to work on or customize electric bikes, which is such a massively important part of the culture of motorcycling. Most riders love the agency they have over a motorcycle. Bikes are attractive to many gearheads because they're so easy to work on, easy to maintain, and easy to customize in a minimally equipped garage. So the uncertainty that comes from new proprietary electric motorcycle tech and the microscopic advantage of resources or avenues at your disposal to service them put electric bikes at a major disadvantage compared to tried and true ICE machines. And let's be honest, we've heard crazy stories of EV cars getting bricked from outer space or causing Teslas to lock the vehicle while you're still inside of it while it's getting a software update. That's insane. Or how about the Fisker that wouldn't open the sunroof because it wasn't connected to the internet? How does that make any sense? You know how much we love Rockform phone cases and handlebar mounts around here, but did you know they have an entire lineup of products that can further take advantage of your existing case? Your Rockform phone case is literally the key that unlocks a whole ecosystem of other products aimed to make your life way easier. Rockform's cases have notoriously strong magnets, like really strong. So strong that if my phone is in my pocket, it will sometimes pull my kitchen cabinet doors open if I stand too close to the handles. That's literally happened. To further take advantage of the world's most magnetic case, you could get yourself the magnetic power bank. The power bank is so strong you can attach it to your phone and set it in your motorcycle tail bag or backpack and not have to worry about them losing contact and missing out on valuable charge time, which is a huge game changer for motorcyclists on the go. You can also take advantage of their car accessories like the wireless magnetic car vent mount that keeps your phone magnetically mounted to your car's air vent while it's charging up wirelessly. If you're a motorcyclist, skip the cheap accessories and get the best of the best that's going to stand the test of time with Rockform. They've been a long-time supporter of the channel for over 4 years now, and I truly stand by their brand and their products. I've used them daily all the time. If you want in on the Rockform action, click the link in the description and use the code YN25 to get 25% off your order. That's YN25 for 25% off of your order. Thank you to Rockform for supporting today's video. Now let's get back into it. Electric motorcycles are also likely to face more resistance as more and more people become aware that EVs are not as green or environmentally friendly as they're advertised to be. Sure, the machines themselves don't produce emissions, but that's about where the environmental sustainability ends. Batteries aren't made out of hemp and soybeans after all. They're made out of precious metals. The production of electric vehicle batteries is incredibly resource intensive, and their disposal is complicated too. And newsflash, all these Teslas on the road aren't gonna last forever. Where do we dump these massive batteries? The ocean? Lithium-ion batteries use a lot of lithium and cobalt. Lithium is mined in South America, and regions where this mining occurs have routinely faced water shortages due to the demand that the mines require. Cobalt is mined in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where it results in significant environmental degradation, not to mention the exploitative labor practices these mines use. Boomer riders scoff at CF Moto because China's a communist country. I'm not sure what they'll think of an electric bike as they realize the child was working in mines to produce the battery, but then I remembered that Republicans actually advocate for lowering the age restrictions for people working, so maybe they like child labor. I don't know. Producing these batteries also creates a ton of carbon emissions in and of itself. So with EVs, we can keep the emissions out of California and instead just keep them in third world countries? That kind of sounds like the future that liberals want, and not in a good way. And like I mentioned, these batteries have to be properly disposed of or recycled. If they're just tossed in the garbage, they can leach toxic chemicals into the soil and water. And again, properly disposing of and recycling lithium-ion batteries produces, wait for it, emissions. The huge amount of torque produced by electric vehicles also accelerate the wear and tear on tires and our infrastructure. And while tire manufacturers are pushing for more sustainable production methods, as it stands, burning through tires at a rapid pace probably isn't doing the environment any favors. Electric motorcycles are unable to capture the appeal of an ICE bike. A motorcycle engine is responsible for so much of the character and feedback that a rider experiences while in the saddle. You got grumbly twins, screaming four cylinders, hypnotic triples, and crappy singles that don't just have the characterful soundtracks, but create power in a way that's unique and genuine to the engine architecture. And this tactile, haptic experience is just not something that can be replicated on an electric bike. Have you seen these electric cars that make fake engine sounds? Pretty lame, not cool at all, or anywhere near the same experience you get with an internal combustion engine. Motorcycles as a whole have lost some of the character and charisma as electronic throttles and rider aids diminish that analog feedback, and a lot of purists have taken notice. And EVs take that clinical sterility to the 1000th degree. An electric bike is silent except for the strange whir of the electric motor. They make torquey linear power, but it's almost too perfect, too immediate, a little too easy. You don't have to manipulate the clutch or move through the gearbox as you increase your speed. You don't need to downshift to enjoy the top of the rev range while you pass some senile grandma who's going 35 and a 55, but ease and convenience isn't always better. Part of the fun of riding a motorcycle is working towards mastery, understanding the way your engine and transmission work in conjunction to put optimal power to the rear wheel. Electric motorcycles do not offer the same riding experience. It's like an alien interpretation of a motorcycle without so many of the quirks and intricacies that we enjoy as motorcyclists. And while more and more companies keep investing in electric motorcycle technology, there is still a ton of consumer reluctance and market skepticism to contend with, and sales have gone down. While electric cars have gained popularity amongst many car drivers, motorcyclists are a completely different breed. Most people in America need to own a car, and they make their purchasing decision on a pretty superficial level. They see cars as a utilitarian purchase and are much less concerned with the minutiae of the driving experience, whereas motorcycling is niche, and motorcyclists are obsessed with the details of motorcycling. They consider brand legacy, model lore, mechanical specifications, racing, off-road riding, and all the nitty-gritty details that a hobbyist can obsess over. Motorcyclists are way more likely to be enthusiasts rather than car drivers. And many riders consider motorcycling a lifestyle, and it's how they commute to work, how they spend their free time on the weekends, and the focus on the online content they enjoy. And the more infatuated with the ins and outs of the two-wheeled world people become, the less likely they are to be excited about electric motorcycles because they just don't check those boxes. They don't have the heritage, the visceral feeling, the smell, the rumble. They're nothing like the brutal cold start exhaust, pure sound 4K, not clickbait videos that we're all consuming on a daily basis. And if history has told us anything, motorcyclists are resistant to change. I'm sure there's lots of divorced biker dads out there as proof. And since the change to electric vehicles has an ominous, almost mandatory connotation, threatening to outright replace ICE bikes in the future, diehard enthusiasts are even more likely to resent them. Don't tread on my hog or I'll dump all of my clippings in front of the live wire dealership. A lot of EV popularity in cars, and even for some motorcycles, has been bolstered by government incentives or subsidies. The National Electric Motorcycle $2,500 tax credit has already ended, but there are still local, state, and county level incentives that can be had for electric bike purchasers. EVs are already unattainable for a lot of people based on the cost, even with tax credits or rebates, and as those incentives continue to diminish, they will be even less accessible. Without subsidies for manufacturers, they might scale back production, delay new model releases, or even exit the market altogether. The electric motorcycle segment is already very small, with only a handful of manufacturers making a select few models. Without government subsidies, it could lead to even less options for potential buyers, less innovation, which electric bikes definitely need in regards to range and charging, and a slowdown in the overall adoption of electric motorcycles. For example, Harley-Davidson received an $89 million grant to expand its Pennsylvania manufacturing plant to produce the live-wire electric bikes. This is just one of the 11 facilities receiving $1.7 billion in funding to produce electric vehicles or parts around the country. Electric motorcycles are already being met with very slow adoption compared to electric cars, and if these tax credits and rebates go by the wayside, consumers lose incentive to buy electric bikes, and manufacturers may lose incentive to continue producing them. So here we are. You made it to the end. What do you think about electric motorcycles? Who am I kidding? You already let me know down below in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy this type of daily motorcycle content. If you're a longtime viewer, thanks as always for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Fact: there are more bacterial cells in your body than human cells. Goodbye. Well, that's it. That's the end of the video. And you might be saying, woo, what's that spicy little meatball right there next to you? This is the MT-09 SP, and in case you live under a rock, it's our newest giveaway bike, and I am ridiculously excited about it. This thing is the best, in my opinion. There's no better street bike. It's awesome. So, head over to yamady.co, become a member, and get access to win this motorcycle. It could show up right there in your driveway. But as you sit there and debate which membership option is going to be right for you, click the link right over here and keep watching some sweet Yami Noob. We have thousands of videos, I think. 2,000? 1,500? We have a ton of videos. Go and check them out.